Hey everyone, before we start, I just want to talk about Zed's items and runes. And the first item that I would go for is Yomu's Ghostblade. Ghostblade is really good on Zed right now because it provides him with damage, ability haste, armor penetration, as well as additional move speed, making his ganks a lot faster. An alternative for this item would be the Serpent's Fang. I would only build this item if the opponent has a lot of shield in their kit. Next item I would go for is Black Cleaver. This allows Zed to become a bit more tankier with the HP it provides, giving him even more damage, ability haste, as well as an armor, shred, allowing his combos to become more deadlier. Third item I would go with the Brown Boots, and then proceed immediately to the Cerealious Grudge. The reason why I want to complete the Cerealious Grudge as soon as possible, because this is a huge power spike on the Zed. Once you're able to complete this item, you would get percentage armor penetration, a slow which is very important. In combination with the third skill, you're almost able to guarantee to hit your shurikens, as well as additional ability haste. Then the next one would be the Ionian Stasis, wherein I get the Ionian Boots for the CDR, making his cooldowns a lot lower, and then the Stasis, just in case I get caught, I would be able to buy time and possibly outplay my opponent. Fourth item is a flex. It depends on what you want to build, but generally you could go for the Triforce, which provides him more HP, damage, attack speed, as well as ability haste, and Sheen, which you could easily proc. So you may ask why people go for the Triforce. You already have the Black Cleaver. Triforce is a good situational item because it allows you to split push faster, since at this point, almost no one would be able to 1v1 you. Last item that I would go for is the Guardian Angel. This provides you with additional damage, armor, as well as a second life once you get to those intense team fights. One other item that you could possibly get would be the Edge of Night. It's very situational. If the opponent has a lot of CC, this is another possible item that can be taken into account as well. Going to the runes, the first rune that I would go for is Conqueror. This is really good on Zed, especially when we get to the late game, wherein you could spam your skills with a blue buff, allowing you to stack this rune pretty quickly. But another alternative would be the Electrocute. The only time I would go for the Electrocute if the opponent is all squishy, and I would want to burst a single target as soon as possible. But generally, when it comes to the later game, Electrocute is a much better rune. Second rune that I would go for is Gathering Storm. Since we want to scale properly, Gathering Storm allows us to have more AD once it gets to the later stages of the game. But an alternative for this would be Triumph. If you're looking to assassinate one target and become more sustainable, Triumph is another good alternative for this. Third rune that I would go for is Hunter Titan. This is a good rune if the opponent has a lot of CC, but if they don't have much crowd control, you could go for the Nullifying Orb instead. Then the last rune I would go for is the Pathfinder. This makes Zed's roam a lot deadlier and allows him to move around the map much quicker. But an alternative for this is Hunter Genius. If you want to focus on high cooldown reduction, then this is the rune for you. But I would rather go for the Pathfinder since we want to focus on our ropes. So that is it for Zed's items and runes, and I will see you guys in game. Going to the game, I'm going to be showing you how to play Jungle Zed. In this matchup, we're currently against Kha'Zix, and in a Zed versus Kha'Zix matchup, this is pretty much advantageous towards the Kha'Zix player because Zed is very team dependent and would need items to become more effective. What you want to do is to AFK farm and get level 5 as soon as possible so that our ganks will be a lot stronger. I place a ward behind the blue buff to protect me from any potential invades because Zed is very weak against invades since he has not much damage in his kit early on. The clear that I'm doing here right now is the full clear, but instead of starting in the red or Krugs, I start at the blue buff. The reason why I start at the blue buff is because Zed is very energy reliant in his clears, and getting the blue allows him to replenish his energy a lot faster. Another thing about Zed is that his passive works on jungle camps as well, so if you're able to put a camp below 50% HP, then Zed's next attack would deal additional damage. After clearing the blue buff, I go for the Grump, and as you could see, spamming my first and third skill, Zed's energy goes very low, and even with the blue, I still run out of energy. This goes to show how hungry or energy reliant Zed is when clearing his jungle camps. This would not be a problem later on once I get more energy and I put more points in my second skill. While clearing the blue buff, I'm checking for any potential invades. Luckily, I'm against Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix is not the type of champion that is strong at invades because he wants to AFK farm as well and get his level 5 as soon as possible. So I don't have to worry about any potential invades, and looking at the lane states, there's not much happening because I would not be able to help my teammates even though there's an early fight that's happening in the map. I would need to stick to farming my jungle, and I would only become stronger if I get my level 5. Another tip about Zed is you would always want to use your second skill beside the camp. That way, you would get your energy back and deal more damage. With the Shadow, and using your third skill, if you and the Shadow hit the third skill on the camp, not only would you deal additional damage, you would also get some energy back. So, when using the Shadow, you always want to use your first and third skill so that you would get your energy back faster as well. Looking at my clear, 213, not the fastest, not the slowest, and I'm able to get level 5. I see that Kha'Zix is the bot side. He might go for the bot's cut. And since I'm level 5 and he's level 4, I go for the Kha'Zix, dodge the Galio with the flash, put in some shurikens. Riven is able to come, good follow-up, and we're able to put down their jungler. Fiora goes for the all-in, uses the flash, we juke her, and get the kill as well. So very good start from us, getting a 1-0-1 lead, and it's very important that we get an early lead with Zed so that we're able to complete our items as soon as possible. Once we complete our Ghost Blade, our damage will become a lot stronger and our ganks will be a lot more efficient as well. Since I went for the full clear, I go to the top side and the camps have just spawned. Our duo bot just went back, so instead of going for a top gank, I go for a clear instead. Once the blue has spawned, I immediately go and take it so that our energy will replenish a lot faster. This is also very important when in team fights because if you miss your skills or you don't have any blue buff, then it will take a while for you to get back your energy. That's why blue buff is very important and it's something that you would always want to take, especially if you're playing Zed, whether in the jungle or in the mid lane. Kha'Zix goes for a gank bot. I'm out of position, so I just go for the Raptors. After clearing the Raptors, I look for a possible gank since I don't have any camps for now. If Fiora tries to go for a push, which she doesn't, but I see that she's going for a recall in the middle bush. So I immediately use my second skill, third skill to cancel her recall. Successfully force her parry, and once she uses her parry, I go for the ultimate. We get an easy kill, and this is what's good about Jungle Zed is that he is very strong in catching low targets. And with that, I'm able to complete my Ghost Blade. And another tip about Zed, if you don't have your ultimate, you would most likely just want to AFK farm. Going for the red, the objectives will spawn soon in 20 seconds. As I check our duo bot, I don't think that I would be able to get there on time because I don't have my ulti as well. When playing Zed, I would want to prioritize Herald because my objective take is not that fast and getting Herald would allow me to get my items faster. I see that Kha'Zix is in the area, so I immediately go away with the second skill, poke him a bit. My blue buff is gone, so I need to conserve my energy and use it wisely. I check if they're still starting the Herald. I see that Kha'Zix is trying to force it. I try to go in to the Fiora ultimate, use second skill, poke the Kha'Zix a bit, go back, immediately go for the smite. We get a really smooth steal. We take down their jungler as well, and this is the potential of Jungle Zed wherein the opponent would not be able to catch me as easily, especially if they don't have much crowd control. So we outplayed up our opponents, we easily secured the Rift Herald, and we get the Dragon as well. I used the Rift Herald mid-side so that I would get plates. I don't have Smite yet. Luckily, the opponents are a bit late. We secure Dragon and immediately go for the reset. But before going for the reset, I look at my gold. My Black Cleaver is almost complete. I thought about going back, but as much as possible, I would like to complete my Cleaver, which is about 3k or 2.9k. Looking at the gold, I have 2.4k, so what I want to do is clear my camps before going back. Our bot is not yet in position, so I potentially go for a clear. But as soon as our duo bot comes, I think about recalling, but I realize that my cleaver will be up soon, so I go for the clear instead. But I see that Irelia is ganked by the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix does a great gank, takes down Irelia. As much as possible, I would want to help but I'm very low and the Irelia is out of position. Looking at the gold, my cleaver will be completed in 100. I just need to clear my raptors and then I would be able to get this item. Because cleaver is very important, Zed. It gives me a lot of stats, making me a lot tankier. But I see that Riven is playing a bit aggressive. I go for the Galio instead. Try to poke him a bit with the third skill. Galio dodges my first skill with the flash. Another fight happens. Fiora chases down the Riven. I'm forced to flash away. We outplay them. Hopefully the Irelia will be able to take down the opponent. But Karma arrives and we're placed in a bad position. So this is the problem if I farm too much. I'm not placed in a position to be able to deal damage because I haven't gotten my cleaver yet. Once I get my cleaver, this is when my power spike will really shine, and getting level 9 with the level 2 ultimate, I would easily be able to burst down the opponents, especially if they're not noticing me in a fight. I ping my team to try and bait the opponents because I'm pretty strong at this stage of the game. I have a lot of gold. I see Karma's Airy. Ezreal's Q hits the bush. Go for the combo. Once we take down the Karma, we go for the ulti. We take down the Vayne as well. And this goes to show how strong Zed's power spike is once I'm able to complete 2 items. So Zed will be really strong at this stage of the game and will only become stronger later on, especially if I get my level 3 ulti and the Cerealia's Grudge. So that's the next power spike that I'm waiting for.
On my way.
For now, this would do. I would deal a lot of damage. Ariel goes in for the Galio. I hit the Galio with my first skill. Last hit to the third skill. Get a 5-0, but I make a mistake throwing my shuriken. So the tower aggro went to me and I immediately get punished for it. So I should have not went for the greedy play. I wanted to try and take the tower, but I should have went back instead. I get shut down and give the opponent a chance to come back into the game. The item that I get next is Ionian Boots, and I don't go for the Stasis enchantment yet because I want to complete the Cerealia's Grudge before completing my enchantment. The Stasis is quite expensive, 1k, and I want to use that gold in order to complete the Cerealia's Grudge. Another fight happens at the bot side. I'm pretty strong. I know that I would be able to get the Fiora. Riven outplays the Fiora, dodges the parry, and gets the outplay, which is good for us because 4 of their members are down with the Herald up. I try to look for their jungler, burst down the Kha'Zix, immediately take him down, go back to my Shadow, and start the Herald. So that's a very good ace by us, thus extending our lead, and we're placed in a very good position to win the game. As you could see, my energy is very low, and without the blue buff, this is quite hard for me because I would need to use my skills efficiently. That's why as soon as I go back, I go immediately to the blue buff or go to the top side of the jungle, rather start clearing so that I would get my items faster and I would also get my energy faster as well after clearing the blue buff. I bring the blue buff to my Shadow before using the third skill. That way I would deal more damage and get energy faster as well. Once I take the blue, I already have my energy generating buff and I try to look for a possible gank. In the top side, if Karma and Vayne separates, I might be able to catch someone off guard.
Bottom turret is under attack.
Wait for someone to come. Karma is out of position. I try to go for the burst. Unfortunately, I did not respect Kha'Zix's potential damage and I make a mistake. I get taken down. I got surprised about Kha'Zix's burst. And very bad timing because the objective has just spawned. So my team would need to 4v5 a fight. And they would not be able to start the objective because I'm still respawning. My team does a great job on buying time for me. They're able to put the Galio very low, buy a lot of time. They're kiting the opponents well. Ezreal Yuumi, very annoying to play against because you would not be able to catch the Ezreal. As soon as I spawn, I immediately use the boots plus my second skill to try and help my team since they're currently fighting a 4v5. They're playing well for now, but things might change, so I'm able to come on time. I see that Karma's pretty low, so I use my second skill, third skill, first skill, immediately burst down the Karma, ultimate into the Kha'Zix. The cooldown of my skills are immediately coming back, and we get a double kill onto the opponent. Riven played that well. She's able to burst down the Vayne, buy a lot of time, get a triple kill, and we get an ace in that fight. With that, I use the Herald on the mid. I know that I'm gonna take down the second tier tower, second, third, first to clear the wave, and we have the Herald to be able to take in order to take down the inhibitor properly. With the opponent spawning, I want to try and take down to steal their camps so that their jungler would not be able to get any farm. I take the blue buff. I'm almost level 13, so I want to get level 13 before going back. That way, I would be able to get my power spike. Once I get home, I would be able to complete the Serial Just Grudge. And the reason why this item is really good on Zed is because it provides you an additional slow, which would guarantee your shurikens to hit the opponent. So with the Serial Just Grudge, you would have a lot of slow, you'd be very, very annoying. Plus, you would be able to burst the opponent in one combo. With the blue buff spawning as well, I get another blue. I get my level 13, and this is the most fun part when playing Zed. Once you get level 13, plus your Serial Just, and you have blue buff. What I'm doing right now is try to catch some targets. Riven is playing a bit greedy, just in case someone shows up, I would be able to take them down. The opponents are playing safe, they're not overextending, only Fiora's overextended bot. I'd go and try to burst down the Kha'Zix, flash in. Unfortunately, he has Zhonya's, but with the third skill, I'm able to slow Kha'Zix. Ezreal takes him down with the ultimate, and we look for another target. My team picks to go for the Baron, so I go respect their wishes and go for the Baron instead because their jungler is currently down. Hopefully, this would be uncontested. As soon as I see Vayne and Karma at the top side, Fiora is going top side as well. I know that they will be giving the Baron. Galio's coming, so he would not be able to do much. All I have to do is secure my smite, and we secure the Baron buff. With that, it's all about pushing the lanes. We're able to take down the mid inhibitor. What we want to do is take down the top or bot inhibitor, then end the game. The fourth item that I'm building is Edge of Night in order to dodge their crowd control such as Galio's Taunt, Karma's Tether, or even Kha'Zix's possible burst. I could go for the Triforce, but at this point, I don't think that I would be able to finish that item, so I go for the Edge of Night instead. A fight happens at the bot side, and with a Ghost Blade, I'm pretty sure I would be able to come on time. Second skill, third skill, first skill, immediately burst down the Kha'Zix. I save my ultimate because I know I would be able to burst the Karma. I use my ultimate on the Vayne instead, and look how strong my burst is. We immediately get a triple kill. Fiora is the only one alive, so what we could do is just end it at mid. Riven goes in and tries to take down the Fiora. I try and help. Try to put the Fiora very low, but the Nexus is targeting me. And at this point, I have my stasis. And we're able to end the game in a good note. So aside from those two deaths, I limit tested a bit. We're able to get a win. And it's a pretty clean Zed game from us. And this goes to show how strong Zed jungle could be, especially when we get in the later stages of the game. 86%. Zed at Master, we get MVP. 11-4, almost the most damage dealt. We did a lot in that game, and I hope you guys enjoyed our Zed tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.
I'm finally facing it all, fearless.